Welcome back, you guys. If you're just joining me, welcome. My name's Melissa and I'm happy to have you here. For today's video, we're gonna do some moss poles. I have a couple plants that I want to add to a pole. They're both Monsteras. I'm really excited. One has been long overdue and the other one is one of my birthday plants. I wanted to come outside because it was raining. I mean, it was pouring earlier today, but it's not too cold. It's like 60 maybe, a little bit chilly. I'm wearing my new sweater that I got from Target. It has a Monstera print here. It is gorgeous. I can actually link this down below on their website if you're interested. It was only $20 and it's nice and cozy. But yeah, it's just a casual day today. I wanted to go ahead and get these guys started on a pole before we get into the growing season here. I actually have a few more that I want to do on poles, so I'll probably do those for a separate video. I have a couple phylos that I want to get put on a pole and one epipermanent plant that I want to do, so I'll probably get those started here soon too. But for today's video, it's just going to be the two Monsteras. So let me show you guys the plants that we're going to be doing, and then I will bend you down so you can kind of see some other angles throughout this video. This is the first plant. This is a variegated Monstera Adansonii, and you can tell from looking at it, it has a lot of white, which is not good because, you know, white does not have enough chlorophyll, so the green parts are sustaining this plant and it doesn't have a lot of green. So yeah, he has been long overdue for a pole. He is just flopping all over the place. And this one is actually 2 vines, and I got this from Botanicas. I've talked about this one before. It started as a 2-leaf, tiny cutesy little plant. It had 2 half-moon leaves and it was just the cutest thing, and I didn't know it was going to grow so much white. I'm very thankful that it did grow this other node, because without this node, this original one is pretty much all white down here. So it has 2 vines growing. This one is pretty much all white, and then this node here shot out on its own, and this one is producing bigger leaves up top, you can see, but it's doing this every other white and green leaf, sort of. So this was a green leaf, and then it gave me this white leaf, then it gave me this one with some green, and then it gave me another white one, and it's currently doing another green and white. So as long as it's giving me green, I'm not going to chop this plant or anything like that. And for the most part, the white is staying relatively white. I do have this in my IKEA cabinet currently, which I'm going to leave this plant in my cabinet. The thick leaf pole isn't too tall that I'll be able to leave it in the cabinet for a while. It is under a Barina T8 light, which gets great light. So variegated plants definitely need a lot of light to maintain variegation and to kind of help them from browning, just because they don't have enough green. So they need light to photosynthesize. And I think for the purpose of these plants that I'm doing today, because they are going on a pole, it's important to have a pretty good amount of aeration in the soil. So I think I'm going to be doing a combination of my mix, and I'm going to take some pieces of soul soils to add in it just to make it a little bit more chunky. So it's going to be a combo of both. I think I might do this one first and then we'll get to the other one, but let me show you the other one that we're going to do. This next one is my Monstera Dubia. This is one that I got for my birthday. I'm really excited. It is gorgeous. I got this from an Etsy shop for $32.50, which is crazy. It did come with a wood plank here, and it's grown past the plank, and it's actually pushing a new leaf here up top that you can see right there. So since this one is extending beyond the pole or the plank here, I want to get this put on a pole like as soon as possible, because I don't want these leaves to revert back to being small again. So this one I am going to do on my wire pole, because Monstera Dubia get huge. Like, their vine gets so thick. They get these huge, beautiful fenestrated leaves. Like, they're massive plants. So I feel like putting this plant on something that's not wire would, in the future, be really a downfall, because I want something that's going to be able to support such a big plant as it matures. So I think wire is going to be the best for this plant, just because it does get so large. So that's what we're going to do for this one. I hope I can get him off this plank okay, because he seems pretty attached here on the plank, so hopefully he doesn't get too angry at me. So I'm gonna bend you guys down to a different angle so you can see me kind of put these guys on their pole, and we'll get started here. All right, we have a bit of a mess down here. I just made up a little bit of my soil mix. This is what it looks like. It has orchid bark, charcoal, perlite, and it's Fox Farm base, so it's very aerated. I love my mix, and my plants do really well in it. And I also have my other soil mixes here. I have like extra perlite, charcoal. I also have a fresh bag of soul soils, which I think I might be picking some pieces out of here and using just to make this a little bit more aerated. I prefer my mix to be just a little bit more chunky when I'm doing moss poles. This is what I'm going to use for the Monstera Adansonii here. I think this one it's like one pot size bigger, so I think this is a 5-inch pot. So that's what we are going to be doing for that one. I also have the thickly pole that we're going to be using, and I have a thing of water here to add moss to our pole. This is all the moss that I have left, so I went and got more of the Better Grow brand. This is what I tend to use. It's just inexpensive and cheaper, and I can easily get this at my big box stores here, so I will definitely have to use more. This won't be enough to make that pole. You can see a bit more. I'm gonna let this soak in here. I'm not sure if you guys can see that all that well. I'm gonna bring you guys actually closer. Okay, I think this is better so you guys can see more of what I'm doing. So this is just the wet, damp moss that we're gonna be using to build our pole. And I think I'm actually going to make my soil mix up in this empty bin, because I'm gonna be using the same mix for both of these plants. So I'm gonna dump the fresh mix that I just made, this is my normal mix, into here. And we want this to be a little bit more aerated, so I'm going to add more of this orchid bark. This is the Rio Hamza trading. I get this off Amazon. I like this because it's not super chunky, but it's still, I feel like, I don't know, small to medium size, I guess, which I like. I don't like the super big chunky pieces. I'm not going to be adding any fertilizer because I'm going to be adding it come March in another month. And this Fox Farm has a lot of nutrients, so it'll be fine. The plant doesn't need like any fertilizer right away, especially since we're still in the off season. I'm going to add a little bit more perlite. Okay, and I don't think I need to open the new bag from Soul Soils because I do have this already. It's their houseplant mix. I'm finding I'm not a fan of cocoa coir. If you don't know what cocoa coir is, it looks like this. I find that I just don't like it. I would much rather use my orchid bark. Take a few pieces. I don't know, I just like my orchid bark better than the cocoa coir. If you can see the difference. I feel like it stays a little bit too damp for me, and I feel like fungus gnats are attracted to the coir, I've noticed, and I don't like that. So I'm gonna try to avoid putting that in my mix. And this may be kind of crazy picking pieces out of here, but I'm just gonna do it for my poles just because I just love them and I want them to have a really good mix. So I'm basically taking out some of these chunky perlites. I'm going to be taking out some of these leca balls. Leca's good for drainage, but it also retains moisture. So since this mix is super aerated, I have to make sure that it does retain a little bit of moisture. So yeah, I'm going to be picking out a few pieces and then mix it in here, and then I will come back on in just a bit, because this will probably take me a little bit. Okay, I am back, and this is what it's looking like. And you can kind of see there's still some of that chunkiness with the leca and orchid bark, and there's pumice and other stuff in soul soils. I kind of just picked through some pieces, but this doesn't have any cocoa core, just the orchid bark, because I do not like the core. So I think it looks a lot better. It's very aerated. I think this will be enough for the 2 plants that I'm doing today. First things first is for our thickly pole, we are going to fill it with sphagnum moss here. I need to get a big potting mat. I don't have like a decent size one. I'm just gonna use the lid here. All right, and with our thickly pole, I feel like it's been a while since I made one of these. I can link these down below too. I get them from Amazon if you are interested in them. You basically just fold them up and fill with moss. And the bottom is the one with the little soil flaps that you take out. And then I'm just gonna leave enough spot at the bottom to fill with my soil mix. And the moss, I just want this to be nice and fluffy. I actually had enough, I didn't have to open the new pack. So that's good. I'm just gonna use the rest of what's in here. Okay, so once it's filled, I just basically close it up. These little top flaps fold right into it. You kind of want to build a D shape is what they call it. They're pretty easy to fold together. So it makes that D shape to the pole like that. So that is the front. And then we'll fill the bottom here with some soil. Just like that. Ooh. Before I fill that all the way up, we are going to loosen this guy. Okay, I brought you guys down a little bit closer. So for him, we are just going to undo. I'm gonna try not to disturb too much. This was potted into soul soils directly. I just want to, oh, it's like a little, literally all falling off. Do you see how easily that came off? That's what a chunky mix does there for you. So some of the soil is still good. I'm going to try and take out some of these cocoa core pieces, because I believe I repotted this plant last year, so it's not overly root bound or anything. I definitely don't want to waste the soil. I just don't want the core pieces. Well, all right, so we're just gonna plop this guy down in the center. Tuck all the roots down there. And before I fill up, I'm actually going to just carefully clip this guy. I have these little butterfly clips. I'm just going to put a clip here for a minute just to hold the vine to the moss. And that way we can work on getting all these roots down here. Oh, this is already looking so good on the pole. All right, actually, let me take away some of these cocoa core pieces. And I still have some fertilizer actually in here from when I repotted it. Yeah, look at all this cocoa core here. You just want to make sure when you're making these to really get the soil down in here, because when you have an aerated mix, it can leave a lot of air pockets, so you want to make sure you're filling those, especially down in the front where you're placing the cutting. You just want to make sure to get that soil down in there good enough. So basically I'm just making sure the vine is kind of flush against the pole, because you want those aerial roots to start digging into the moss and attaching. I'll probably get one more of my clips and make sure this bottom piece down here is in there pretty good. That looks so cute. I'm so happy to be getting this one on a pole. Look at how cute that looks. Oh my goodness. I will definitely water these in. The soil is a little bit moist on this one because I watered it not too long ago. But I'm gonna give it a fresh water just to wet everything, mend it together. And as it climbs, I will attach the leaves and hopefully it'll root into the pole okay. So that is that one all done. Next up is the dubia, and this is the pre-made wire pole that I have. It's 3 feet in height and the bottom is empty, so I can fill that with soil. And I normally wet this first, but I didn't want it to be too top heavy, so I'm just gonna water the pole after I pot these, just so it's not like overwhelmingly heavy when I go to pot this up right away. I'd rather go ahead and pot it first, and then I will just let it water from the top. So this is a little bit larger than a 6-inch. I think these are 6.7. It's a little bit bigger than I would like, but the other one was too small, which if I don't use at least a 6-inch, the wire, when you put it in here, I like to center mine, and it becomes a little unsteady if I use something too small, just from the weight of the pole itself. And my mix is pretty chunky, so I don't worry about it necessarily like getting root rot or anything in here. I don't have to really repot these once they're on a pole, because once they start climbing, a lot of the roots are contained into the moss itself. So unless this gets overly root bound, then I would have to repot it, but this plant honestly can stay in this pot for a really long time. So all I'm gonna do for this one is I'm gonna go ahead and fill the bottom up here with my mix. Let me bend you down a little bit more here. All right, we are down a little bit more. Oh, almost dropped my plant over. All right, let's fill the bottom here. And then since this is the back of the pole where I had zip tied it, I just want to make sure that I'm putting the plant in the front. Okay. And again, before I fill this up all the way, I want to undo the dubia from here. All right, so for the dubia, since it's on the plank, I am going to remove him from the pot first. And so this just looks like regular potting soil. It's way too dense. So I want to try and remove a good amount of this. And I have to remove the plank from here as well. So I'm just going to gently undo this guy. See, it's just way too dense for me. It's literally just some perlite and potting soil. Pretty much have him all lifted out of here. All the roots and stuff are off. So basically the plant is kind of adhered onto the plank with the aerial roots. So I'm just gonna gently lift them up, and I may break some, and if I do, I guess then it is what it is. There's not really a way to get this guy off of here without loosening those roots up. Just trying to be really careful and lift him up. I definitely could have snapped him very easily. It's not too bad. You can see the imprint from where the roots were. And so that's what we're working with. So pretty much all I'm going to do is adhere this guy onto the pole like this, and hopefully it'll start attaching as it climbs. So I'm going to try and get these roots down here far enough. I'm definitely going to have to get some more pins. I only have one more butterfly clippy here. So I'm going to clip right here, kind of where my thumb is. All right, we have a leaf down here on the bottom, which I kind of want to remove just because it's at the soil level. I hate to remove this leaf though. Maybe I can put him up just a little bit higher. Let me start filling up a little bit. Might have damaged that new growth. Accidentally, might have gotten ripped. Oh well. And again, with all the air pockets the soil creates, I just want to kind of press around so that it secures the pole a bit more. You just want to fill in all those gaps, especially in the front where the cutting is. This looks so stinking good. Oh my goodness. I'm literally obsessed already. Look at how cute this is, you guys. Look. So I'm definitely gonna have to get some more pins in my room and just pin where the vine is lifting a bit from the pole. So I'm gonna secure down here and, you know, give this pole a drink. And then this top growth I'll probably pin too. It looks like I may have damaged that top leaf accidentally. Kind of secure that. And then we'll be done. Again, I'm not adding any fertilizer until spring. I have one more month. And yeah, we'll get this guy climbing and growing in no time. He looks so good on the pole too. I'll probably remove this butterfly clip and use my little push pins. So I'm gonna go do that. I don't have those with me. I'm gonna go get those push pins, finish up with this, and then I'm gonna show you what they look like once I have them in my plant room. I'm just gonna give you a final look over at them, and then I'll be right back. So we are all done. I am in my plant room. And can you make out which one is the dubia? I have it right front and center. So my moss pole area is very squished. I will be spacing this out come springtime. But for now, it's gonna live right here. And I'm slowly watering it from the top. This is a watering globe. It is glass. That's how I water my moss poles. It'll slowly drip down and saturate the entire pole. Since the moss is completely dry, it might take a couple of those to saturate the entire pole, but we will see. And I went ahead and watered the soil just so that I could have the soil be watered. And then I'm gonna stop the water probably to like here, and it'll continue to drip down a little bit more. And then what I did was I put little push pins there, and I put another one there, and I think I put one more down there on the bottom. I just noticed the growth point on this one is actually cut right there. I don't know if that's picking up that well. Yeah, it's cut. And so this vine isn't growing, it's this one that's growing. There is a new node down there that kind of, you know, grew out of there from, I guess this was chopped before it was sold to me, I guess. So yeah, it is growing though. It's just growing a new node from lower down. So yeah, it looks really good. I honestly, it is meant for a pole. It is just beyond gorgeous, and I can't wait to get this one climbing. I don't know what took me so long to get a Monstera Dubia. It is gorgeous. So, so beautiful. The variegated Monstera is in my cabinet here, and I watered the soil on this one. The moss is hydrated here. I just went ahead and filled it to the top. And I ended up using a white butterfly clip for that top node, and then I used a couple push pins down in there, down below. So I think that's gonna work, and yeah, I'll just continue to attach as it grows up. It looks so good. I'm just so happy to get that one growing up and on a pole. It was long overdue. Yeah. Do you see her down here? Hi. Hi. But thank you guys for watching. I'm so excited for these ones. I'm gonna be doing a couple more polls. So I'm excited. I'm ready for spring. I'm ready for my plants to start growing again even more, and rearranging, making some new room into this space. I'm gonna be redoing this corner here soon too. I ordered some stuff and I'm excited to show you guys that. I am gonna film it. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll definitely keep you updated on these and how they're doing. I don't expect them to go downhill or anything, so I think they'll be fine. But thank you guys, and I will talk to you soon. Why is it every time I come outside, these crazy birds just start yapping? What the heck? This squirrel is going to drive me absolutely bonkers. I swear, I've been out here for like 20 minutes making some more soil up, and it was so silent. And now that I turn the camera on, I got squirrels and birds out here. It's okay, we're just gonna look past that.